Yo, this is your favorite friendly neighborhood Toronto, and we had a crazy event. I mean, I thought that show was amazing that PlayStation did with the PS5, the future of gaming. Personally, I'm gonna give this show an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. They showed game after game, and a lot of these games that they were showing were games of quality. Uh, and one thing that I do like was that, of course, we had the PlayStation Studio games that came out with bangers and some AAA studios that came out with bangers. But the indie games that were there, they didn't get overshadowed. They got equal amount of screen time. And for me, the indie games that came out, they actually showed out some pretty amazing titles like Kina. That one I'm gonna talk about in a little bit. And at the end of the presentation, we also saw the console reveal, which I told a bunch of my friends that we were going to see. A lot of people said it just wasn't going to happen because of the rumors, but we knew Sony just had to show it at the end of this event. Now, I'm not going to go over every game that they showed. I'm just going to go over some of my own highlights that I thought were pretty much bangers and things that I was thinking about getting myself. So starting off, they had Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, this game was honestly just phenomenal. It looks like it's going to be a $40 game, something in lieu of Uncharted The Lost Legacy. It shouldn't be a medium-sized game. One thing I do want to highlight here is that when you're looking at the gameplay portion of that video, just look at the amount of vehicles and pedestrians that are on there. The world looks lived in, feels even more richer than it did on Spider-Man, which is just even crazy to say. I really got good sense of vibe that, oh, this is New York City. And then after that, we had Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was the second game by Insomniac that was shown at this event. And this just shows you the voodoo that's kind of going on over at Insomniac when it comes to the efficiency of the game development. This was probably my favorite game showing of the entire event. This clearly showed a game taking advantage of the SSD and the ray tracing, with just the large amount of assets that were on the screen, with the whole rifting and jumping between the wormholes from environment to environment and how quickly like loaded up. After Ratchet and Clank, Polyphony came out and they showed Gran Turismo 7. This game looks amazing. I had to pretty much look at all these things after the stream so I could see it in 4K, and yeah, Gran Turismo looks amazing. One thing I do want to highlight here is if you go back and you watch that video, you will see they went from the main screen and how quickly the race loaded up from the main screen into the game. And we got a good minute and a half of uninterrupted gameplay, so that was really good to see. Another highlight for me was Kena, Bridge of Spirits. This was one of those indie games that they showed, and my God, this game just graphically, it looks gorgeous. The story that it seems that they're going to be telling is one that's very intriguing to me. So I'm sold. I am there. I am playing that game. And then after that, we had Project Athia or Athia. It was very short. Can't really tell what was going on with the game, but what I did see, the graphics looked amazing, but it does look like a cinematic trailer, so I won't put too much stock into it. Also, what I did like was that they had dragons. So if they do have dragons in there, I'm sold. Shout out to Lair from PlayStation 3. And then next up, we had Destruction All-Stars, which I was getting a strong vibe of an infusion of Rocket League and Twisted Metal. One interesting thing I do want to point out is that at one point in the trailer, it did look like you could actually jump out of your vehicle. So I'm curious to know how that works gameplay wise and how that's going to be implemented. Should be a nice twist. And another highlight for me was Horizon Forbidden West. Now, I don't even know where to start off with this game besides just saying this game looked absolutely stunning. I mean, it was absolutely stunning, especially when you had Aloy underwater. That to me was the best underwater graphics that I've ever seen in the game. And if that's how it plays, guys, I'm gonna have to sit down with my legs crossed just to make sure nothing is poking out. You know what I mean? And besides all of that, Guerrilla Games just has an amazing talent when it comes to world building. What they did for Horizon Zero Dawn was amazing, so I could just see that being expanded upon with Forbidden West. Now with Hitman 3, that got a little bit of a reveal, and I'm not even too sure if this is going to be a cross-gen title, but if they're focusing mainly on next gen, that's going to be even better, because then they're really going to be able to push what the extra power that the CPU is going to be able to give them. And for a game like Hitman, it actually does a lot for it, because in practical terms, they're going to be able to have more enemies and NPCs with better AI, just to give more dynamic encounters every time you're going up for an assassination. And Hitman does just a great job with giving you freedom to tackle the missions in various ways. So being able to take advantage of that CPU power would just be amazing. And with Demon Souls, this was well documented as a rumor that it was going to show up at this event. We didn't see much gameplay, not that I was able to tell, because it did look like another cinematic trailer, unless it was gameplay and it just looks that good. But what I saw looked amazing. And if the world really does look to be this good and play this good, this might be Bluepoint's magnum opus. And if that's the case, Sony should just lock them up and purchase the studio right away. After that, we got Godfall. And honestly, Godfall, when I first saw it at the Game Awards show, I was a little lukewarm to it. It didn't look that good. I was kind of putting it to the side. But after what I saw at this event, I'm a little bit more excited about it. The worlds look great. I saw a lot of ray tracing going on, and just the customization options look like they're going to do a lot when you're playing these characters, because you are, again, in third person. Never really liked too many games that did customization and it was first person, and then you can even see all the work you did with your customization. And then that brings us to, last but not least, Astrobot. And what makes Astrobot very interesting is that with every PS5, that game is actually going to be pre-installed onto all of them. And this makes me think about Wii Sports for the Nintendo Wii, where that was pretty much just a showcase to show how you're going to use your Wii remotes. In this case, I feel like Astrobot's going to be optimized so you can use all the DualSense's features, like the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback, also using the speakers that's in the controller as well. I'm sure they're probably going to be doing some crazy things with the sound to show off the Tempest engine as well. Now, for honorable mentions, I would like to say there was Stray, which the world looked very interesting and the visual style was great. And you can also see that ray tracing was being implemented in there, and also NBA 2K1. That looked amazing, but I do need to see more proper gameplay to get a feel of what the game's actually going to look like, instead of them just rendering the one player in Zion Williamson. And that's pretty much the end of the game section there, which means we can finally talk about the console design. And my God, whoo, is this system ever sexy? I mean, it looks sleek, it's very bold. That two-tone design, we knew that was going to be there with the white and black just from looking at the DualSense when we saw that a few weeks ago. Now, one thing that I would have to say is that I was very, very surprised to see two models of the PlayStation 5. I mean, in the way that it showed it anyway, because I did say when I was talking to a couple of my friends that if they do have two models, that it would just be with the memory size, as in we have one that's 825 gigabytes and then the other one might be like 1.65 terabytes. Now, that's not what we got. We got a all digital edition one. That, to me, the design for the digital edition looks the best. It does make me think about the Xbox 360, I'm not gonna lie, but it is very sleek. I do like it, but for me, I'm definitely gonna have to go with the optical drive, because in case I ever get a special edition, I want to have my 4K player. Who knows, if the day comes that I do need to use a physical disc, I want to make sure I can. But really, especially with the quick game switching, you're going to want to be using these games as downloadable content anyway, because then you can switch. If you have to take out a CD and put it in, you're not going to be really able to take advantage of that. But when it comes to the pricing for the digital edition, I just feel like there has to be at least $100 difference between the two, because I just don't feel like the sacrifices that you're making, that $50 or $25, $75 is worth it. $100 at least would be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to have a 4K Blu-ray player or physical optical drive, but I'm saving $100. I don't feel like I carries the same weight when I say, well, I'm saving $50, you know. So I really do think that $100 minimum has to be that. Me personally, like I was saying, I do feel like I need to get the physical one. I do like having the game boxes. I use them as decor, and I am a collector, but I do prefer playing games nowadays that are digital because it's just easy to just switch and go back between the two games without having to get up, take out the disc, go through the large amount of PS4 games I have, and find the game and take out the disc. I know, sounds lazy, but it's just a quality of life improvement there. One thing I really would like to highlight is that this system has a USB-C port, and that is going to allow you to hopefully connect your controller to it and charge it at high speeds that way. I'm sure maybe the USB-C port might even be used somewhere with the VR coming along down the line. We didn't get to see anything with the IOs on the back of the system, so what's going on with VR and how everything's going to connect to it is going to be a little bit different. But when it comes to the peripherals and the charging, there is the DualSense dual charging dock, which will charge the controllers. But if you notice, it actually charges the controllers from the bottom. And when we did look at the render at the bottom of the controller where you do have the headphone jack in, both sides do have metal connectors, so maybe that's how they're charging the controllers that way. I'm just curious to know if it's going to charge very quickly that way as well. They have the HD camera, which is very interesting. I know a lot of people are naturally going to assume this is going to be for the VR. I'm sure maybe there's going to be some stuff for VR, but let's not forget that we have the share button, create button now, so streaming is still a big thing for PlayStation. And if you're streaming and you want your face to be shown, you're going to want to have a camera there with it. And last but not least, actually two things, we have the media remote and also the Pulse 3D audio headset. And if this headset works like the old Pulse headphones for the PS3, we're going to get that rumble feature back. I liked it. I know some people found it annoying, but me, I liked having that extra little bit of kick, which kind of got me immersed into the whole situation. Whenever a grenade was thrown or an RPG was fired, you got that strong bass, and the vibration made you kind of feel like you were in that situation. So guys, tell me what was your favorite game and why that was your favorite game during the reveal, and what do you guys think about the PS5's console design? And as always, thank you for those who made it through to the end of this video. Please share, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of the new videos that get uploaded. Every like is really appreciated, as it does a lot in helping me grow this channel. I will have all the details on where you can follow everything Toronto in the description. That's everything for now, so it's not bye. Bye, see you later on the next one. And I'm out!